We're going to be talking today about perimenopause and menopause, and I'm going to make it hopefully simple for you and really talking about what's happening and what you can do. So, I'm really excited to talk about this because this is something that, if you are lucky enough to get to this age, that all women will experience. So, but we don't always talk enough about it. So, this is opening up that conversation. And for many people, a lot of my clients, this transitional time, which is like the late 30s to about 60, it can feel like a wild ride. It's full of changes, it's full of surprises and questions. But one thing is for certain is that we all deserve to do what we need to feel our best at every time of our life, to feel nourished, to feel supported, to feel energized, and even joyful in the process. So, I'm going to be talking about lots of different changes for today. And just think about also when you to hear some of the actions and some of the tips, what would be one small thing that you can put into action? So go ahead and grab a notebook, shut your door to not be distracted, tell the kids mom is away for 45 minutes, and just listen to some of the tips and go, oh, maybe that's something you've done before that you want to continue to do a little bit more of. So think about, as I'm talking, what would be one small goal for this week? And we're going to ask that at the end as well. So we're also going to dive into how to best support your body with nutrition and movement and self-care during this time. So I would love to hear from you so I can guide the conversation today. So let me know what stage you are currently in. And I'm going to go more into this, but just pop your number into the chat. Are you number one? Are you premenopause? So that means you have regular periods right now. Are you number two? That would be perimenopause. And that usually is about from 35 to 50, but definitely varies. Kind of that zone of chaos, that transitional period that for most people is in their 40s. And then, or are you number three? Are you in menopause? So, what menopause is basically one day when a woman does not have her period anymore for 12 consecutive months. And then postmenopause is just following menopause where the hormones level remain low. So yeah, just let's hear from what you have. Yeah, so Tim is saying one close to two. Okay. So yeah, so you're just the beginning stages of perimenopause. And Carla is in perimenopause, Tammy is in perimenopause, Mary is in menopause, Angie premenopause. Yeah, and I'm glad that we have all the different varieties here because for somebody like Angie, it's really nice to go, no, oh, what do I need to prepare myself for that's coming up? And then in every stage, we can do different things to help support and nourish our bodies. Yeah, so Kathy is in menopause, and I'm not sure your name, but you're coming in on a Samsung phone, and you are in number two in perimenopause. So wherever you are exactly where you need to be. And I'm so glad that you're here today. So today is all about making this transitional time a little bit easier to understand and a little bit easier transition to smooth and also just a lot more empowering for you to advocate for yourself. So whether you have said you are in perimenopause, premenopause, menopause, right? You are going to walk away with some more clarity, some more confidence, and just a lot of practical tools today. So I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it simple. And you don't need to do all the things, right? So remember, just thinking about one small step that you can do, because that small step really does make a difference. With so many of my clients that come without a lot of confidence of being able to make a change, we need to have that small step to really build on that pat in the back confidence, that gratitude towards yourself, being your own best friend to rally you to the next thing. So, and so at the end, we're going to be sharing again that one small action, and I'm going to be sharing a bunch of bonuses. So, you're going to be really learning all about the symptoms and the simple strategies that you can do to support yourself. And really, it's about what I hear is I just feel off, right? You want to feel more like yourself again in real, doable steps. So stay with me till the end because I put together this wonderful guide. You are going to love it. So it has recipes and it has a lot of what we're going to talk about today in lifestyle tips. So all of these recipes are going to be helping you to balance your hormones. So from cookies to puddings to desserts to even some mocktails. And then also we have a new upgraded bonus today. So everybody that is a new client, you're going to get a free deep dive session with me. So this is going to be 50 minutes really going into what is going on with you. So many times when people come to see me, they have done so many other things and exhausted themselves. And in health coaching, I'm committed to figuring out to give you that clarity and to help you move to the next step. And each client, what I love is so different. So even though my program has structure, every single person I work with is very different. So think about, gosh, where do I want to be 20 years from now? Where do I want to be 30 years from now? And I bet nobody here is saying, I want to be in a nursing home, having someone take care of me, right? You want to be on the floor with the grandkids. You want to be active. You want to be living independently. And so what we do today really makes a difference in what we're going to be like in the future. And I think about with health coaching too, we always have these two paths. And one path is the way we're going. And maybe for you, that is a really great, healthy path. But maybe there's something that's like, something's off. And you feel like, I know I need to make a change, but it feels too hard. And health coaching is what helps hold your hand and feel that support, find those creative ways to keep going on to that other path. So I'm just going to see if there's any more in the chat. If you're just tuning in, let me know what stage you're in. We just had a lot of all over. We have ones, twos, and threes. So we have all stages here. So if you're just tuning in, welcome. I'm happy you're here. And let us know what stage that you are in, if you are premenopause, perimenopause, or if you are in menopause. So if we have not met yet, I am Lori Campa, and I am a triple certified health coach. So I specialize in helping women 40 and above with supporting their bodies naturally. So I've spent the last 10 years health coaching and really helping women to live the best possible lives, to live healthier, to feel more energized, to have that healthy mindset, and to reduce those hormone related symptoms. So I'm certified in nutrition health coaching. I'm a nationally board certified health coach. I'm also certified in yoga, a Reiki master. And right now I'm taking a huge course on perimenopause and menopause. So in my last module to be certified in that. So let's start with what are hormones. And when I first started to tackle this, I thought about the analogy of this feels like I'm going to IKEA, bringing back some furniture and not sure how to put this together, right? You don't know what parts go where. You get frustrated. It's completely overwhelming. And so we're going to make this simple. Hormones are basically the body's messengers. And so they impact everything about us. They impact our energy, our mood, our sleep, our digestion, our menstrual cycles. And when they're balanced, right, we are happy, we're going, it feels great. But when they're not in sync, yeah, it doesn't feel that great. And so that's when we're in this transition. But the good news is that we can really work with these changing hormones by making simple shifts in how we eat, how we move, how we can take care of ourselves. And all of these small changes really can help you feel like you again. So just bring me a yes in the chat if you get like, yeah, all these hormones, that is impacting all of these things, the energy, the mood, the sleep, the digestion, the periods, all of that. So we're going to meet your hormones next. So these are like your besties here, right? And they're going through changes just like you're going through changes. So you're going to be learning more later about how to support them better. But unfortunately, it's not a straight line when we get to perimenopause. It is a crazy roller coaster. So our estrogen, right? That's going to be affecting our energy, our mood, our skin, our bones, and that's going to fluctuate dramatically in our perimenopause and then level off in postmenopause. Our testosterone or our progesterone, that really helps with our calm and it helps with our sleep. So if you're wondering, why am I not falling asleep? Why am I waking up in the middle of the night? It is your hormones, right? It's your period regulation. So this drops much faster than estrogen. And then our testosterone, that affects our muscles, our libido, our motivation. And this also slowly declines over time. So here is a great graphic that shows our hormones. And I like to think of this transitional time as our second puberty, right? Some of you might even have kids who are going through the first puberty, right? So we have the different hormones that happen in our teens, and then in our reproductive years, we know that every single month we go through the four cycles of our four phases of our cycle. So each month we know things change week by week. But then when we get to perimenopause, you can see the estradiol is in the red. It goes up and down, and you don't know where you're going to be. And then the progesterone is going down gradually here. So, and there is no timer that says, like, oh, you turned 40 and this is just what happens. Every body is truly different. And from health coaching for 10 years, I 100% agree that each person is so individualized with their motivation, and what happens with what kind of foods so one person eats is different from the next. And so it's really important to find out what works for you personally. And the key is we want to tune in, really notice and support those shifts. So, perimenopause typically begins in either your late 30s to 40s. So, perimenopause is that stage before menopause, and it really can last anywhere from 4 to 15 years. I know it's a long time. So, averages are really around 4 to 7 years, but the hormone levels really fluctuate and become unpredictable. So we're going to be seeing irregular cycles. We're going to be seeing the mood swings, sleep disturbances. But it's our way, our body is like shifting gears basically. And this is a normal part of life, but it may not feel normal to you. And sometimes I just say, I'm feeling irritated. There's no reason. That's just how I feel right now. So I think you all understand, right? It doesn't always feel normal. And so this zone, this is kind of known as like the zone of chaos. And let me just hear from you with a big yes if that relates to you. Does this sound like the zone of chaos? And this is what the hormones look like here. So just give me a yes in the chat. If you're yes, 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 Kathy, Carla, Mary, you guys get it. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what is menopause. So menopause just marks the end of our reproductive years. So it's defined as the day you've gone 12 months in a row without a period. So I am still in perimenopause. I'm 54. So I am on the late end because 51 is the average age for menopause, but typically it can be anywhere from 45 to 55 years old. But I've gone 7 months without a period, and now I just had 4 periods in a row. So it really depends on each person when menopause is. But definitely, if you're not marking your periods on your calendar, definitely do that. And I want to celebrate, from I always think this might be my last period. And I want to celebrate on my one day, that official day that you've gone 12 months without a period, you are in menopause. And that's when the estrogen, the progesterone declines. But then after this one day, which we're all going to celebrate, right? You're then considered postmenopausal. So with the right support, this can be a time of renewed energy and strength. And so I just want to start to hear from you all about some of the symptoms that have shown up in your life in perimenopause and menopause, because I think it's important for us to talk about our symptoms because there are a lot of them. So some people come to me and they may have 5 different symptoms and they all think they're unrelated. And we find out they're in perimenopause and really figuring out, holding their hand until the end to solve these problems. So they can show up in so many different ways. So no two women experience menopause the same, not even two sisters or a mother and a daughter. They're going to be similar, but some of the symptoms are obvious, right? A lot of people, we're we're going to get those irregular periods in perimenopause. Many people get hot flashes, but that's only 75% of the people. So I'm one of the lucky 25% that has not experienced a hot flash, and I need to knock on wood here. So I want to hear from you in the comments. What symptoms have shown up in your life? And they might be physical, they might be emotional, they might be something in between. And sometimes just naming it out loud is the first step to feeling seen, to feeling supported. And so just take a moment to drop that in the box, and we'll go through some common ones. And you might even have some more comments that come up. So, like we said, some of the common things are irregular cycles, hot flashes, night sweats, brain fog. We had a neighborhood party last night, and all the moms were talking about how all of a sudden you know this word and you just can't think of it at the moment. It just has that brain fog. Maybe anxiety. All of a sudden you're feeling anxiety that you haven't felt before. Mood changes, sleep disruption. So that could be a hard time falling asleep. That might be waking up in the middle of the night. Weight gain, having that insulin resistance, decreased metabolism, fatigue, just feeling not even just tired, but extra just fatigue tired, vaginal dryness, or just dryness all over all over your body, low libido, maybe your joints hurt. A lot of people notice hair loss during this time, and more symptoms could be like frozen shoulder, right? You think, what? That has to do with our hormones? Yeah, it happens a lot to women at this age. Itchy ears, right? These are also different. The ringing in the ears, the vertigo, right? Just not getting the balances off. Maybe feeling bloated. You're feeling irritated, on edge, and nothing really happened. You're just not happy and just feeling that irritated. Maybe you're having heart palpitations. You could be getting shivering, cold flashes, maybe people's skin burning. All of a sudden you're feeling some arthritis. And also, a lot of times people think, oh, yeah, periods are going to be less, right? They're irregular and they're going to get lighter. But that's not the fact for everybody. For some people, you might have one very light period, and the next week or the next month, it looks like a crime scene that's happened. So it really varies for each person. Some people get whiskers, body odor. And again, there's so many more to read, but basically they just say, I just don't feel like myself. So I'm just going to come to the chat and read. Yeah, Tiff said, yeah, late periods, mental fog, hot flashes. Yes, Mary, hot flashes, sleep issues, brain fog. Tammy, yeah, weight gain. Yeah, that's so frustrating, isn't it? Especially if you're doing the exact same things. Irregular sleep patterns. Yeah, Angie saying the brain fog. Yeah, forgetfulness in premenopause. Kathy saying that mental fog is the worst. Angie, sleeping hot, right? Mary, the hot flashes started after I went into menopause. Yeah, and she said she had warm flashes before that. So we can have symptoms usually up to the age of 60. So that's why this is not just talking about perimenopause, but this is going into menopause itself, because these symptoms can still happen. So, and Michelle, insomnia, weight gain, hot flashes, fatigue. Carla, brain fog, mood swings, sleep disturbances. Yeah, there's so many more. Shauna, yeah, extreme fatigue. Yeah, waking up at night. There's just so many here. Belly fat, unwanted hairs, lack of focus. Yeah, there's so many here. Thank you for sharing. And I apologize that I didn't get to read every single one of yours, but I definitely read them, and everybody else. If you see everybody else's comments, give it a like, that they are being seen and heard here as well. So if you're like me, would you just like to believe some of the things on social media, that there's like this one supplement that can solve all the symptoms of menopause, right? And if I had a magic wand and could create this, right, I would be a billionaire, maybe even more than that. But the fact is that with perimenopause and menopause, it is something that it's many different things that all come together, a holistic view, right? So hormone replacement therapy might be great for some people, but it's even going to be even better when you manage your stress with it, when you also move your body and you eat in a certain way, right? When you prioritize sleep. So there's going to be many different factors, and I'm just hitting 4 pillars today. There's many more, but we're going to talk a little bit about how we can use lifestyle as medicine. And so the 4 pillars we're going to discuss today are managing stress, and that's really regulating your nervous system. And this is the foundation of everything. And so, and it's also something that I've been working on for 10 years. I'm still a work in progress. It's much easier for me to go to vinyasa yoga class than a restorative yoga class. And so if that is you, you may also be challenged to regulate your nervous system and find ways every day to help that daily movement, and really prioritizing that consistent quality sleep, and then really figuring out what foods are right for you. So don't underestimate, as we go through all of these ways to ease these symptoms, to think again about that one simple thing that you're going to put into action, because that is just the start of then the next thing and the next thing. When I work with clients, it's so personalized. And so we work on some areas more than others. And, for some people, most of my clients, we talk about supplements, and then but even if they are relevant to somebody, we're going to be personalized depending on what are their symptoms, what are they eating, what are they not eating, so it's unique to your body and your brain. So it's really hard to purchase things or to believe things that are just like that one quick fix, because if there was a quick fix for this, we would all be doing this. So in health coaching, this is one of my clients, and she said, and this is what happens to so many of my clients. They come to me after they've done so many other things and even seen doctors and not felt heard, and always feeling like they can lose weight, or they can journal for a while, or they can do some exercise for a while, but never something long term. And so this is somebody that she was in perimenopause, going into menopause, and she had a lot of hot flashes keeping her up at night and anxiety. And it really just kept her stuck into her house. It impacted every part of her life. And so we worked holding hands, and we figured it out. With health coaching, you are committed. It's kind of like running, like if you're a coach for somebody in the Olympics, right? You're not just going to be like, oh, do your best. You're going to work with them to reach all of the milestones and then get them to the finish line, no matter what it takes, because you're both committed. And so what she said is, right, even though my program is gentle and I hold you accountable, she feels better than she does now at age 49 than she did in her 30s. And she knows now what's best for her unique body. And she really actually enjoys now taking care of herself. So we're really going to talk now about self-care. And if you feel, because I think all of us, including myself at one time or another, felt like, okay, I need to take care of other people first. That's the most unselfish thing. But actually, self-care isn't selfish. It's essential, because when we truly nourish our mind, our bodies, our souls first, we are becoming that best version of us that everybody else gets to experience. So we need to make time for ourselves every single day. And when we are in perimenopause and menopause, it is a non-negotiable thing. Our body is already making some big changes. And so we need to add in relaxation practices. And it can be things that don't even take that much time. Maybe it's like deep breathing or meditation, or maybe it's just simply writing things down to find some ease, those mood swings, and helps you to get back to center. I just had a client right before this, and it was really about how to get her grounded, right? When she's around other people who are anxious, how to find that boundary, that energetic boundary, so that she can help them, but not take in all of their problems. And so we really worked on what works really for her. But it's all about, right, you are worth the same kind of kindness that you give to everybody else. And we need to encourage and be kind to ourselves, that stress may be a part of life, but suffering doesn't have to be. And we just need to take that time to slow down, to listen to what our body really tells us that it needs. So, our nervous system regulation, we're going to talk a little bit about our inner wiring, our nervous system. So, during this time period, stress isn't just frustrating, it becomes a bigger trigger for symptoms like hot flashes, anxiety, and disrupted sleep. So that's because our nervous system plays a huge role in how we feel. So when we're constantly in a state of fight and flight or freeze, our body stays on this high alert that throws our hormones way out of balance. So, when we can activate that parasympathetic nervous system, and that is the rest and the repair mode, we give our bodies that permission, like, hey, I'm calming down. And that's when things can really shift. Hot flashes can ease, anxiety softens, sleep improves. So I like to think of the parasympathetic system kind of as like this hormone harmony switch. And so let me just, share in the chat room, what do you think that you're in most of the time? Is it more fight? Is it more flight? Is it more rest and repair? This is something I work on with every client of mine because it's such an important part and the foundation here. And so when you create the safety in our nervous system, our body shifts, right? Instead of just surviving each day, surviving each moment, we go to thriving. And these simple tools can reduce hot flashes, anxiety, sleep disruption. And again, even just 5 minutes can create a shift. And I've noticed in myself, even just like 4 breaths is going to be okay. So you can do that. And again, I am still a work in progress. So this is something that you don't just arrive at. It's something you practice every single day. And every single morning, I meditate. I use the Calm app and that helps to start my day feeling centered and calm. And so I always make sure that my alarm is set so I have enough time so I'm not feeling rushed with that. But just thinking about what are the tools that you need to support yourself? And it's not about being perfect. It's about having the tools that you need to support the ups and downs. That every day you might do something that's preventative, but then in the moment, is it just going to the bathroom and breathing? Maybe it's walking barefoot on the grass on a beautiful sunny day. Maybe it's practicing some gentle yoga, setting boundaries, whether they're digital or with your family or your friends. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's just seeing your friends, right? And having those social connections or sleep. So there's so many different things that we can do to help our nervous system. And so, next we're going to talk a little bit about our sleep and how many of you would like to just always wake up like, I had a great night's sleep. I am well rested. I am ready to start the day. Again, like we all just want like that magic pill of just, this is what I want. But sleep tends to be the most overlooked, but it's one of the most important things for us to work on as well. Because, with hormone health, right? Sleep, we need to be getting that consistent quality sleep or we need to be getting consistent quality sleep, but it feels harder because it's harder to fall asleep. Or maybe for some of you, you can fall asleep, but you wake up in the middle of the night. And so it affects everything from our mood to our cravings to our memories to our hot flashes. So we do want to focus on our sleep because it throws our whole system off. So think about, and this is something that I will work with clients on for months sometimes to really figure out what is their perfect sleep routine. And when I say perfect, I mean that's what they practice. It's not a thing that they do perfectly. But going to bed and waking up around the same time daily, even on the weekends, right? So seeing what is, starting there, what is that time, reducing that screen time about an hour before beds, and that's going to boost that melatonin production. Having a cool, dark sleep environment. Caffeine can stay in our bodies for about 12 hours. So we want to think about, okay, when am I last drinking my coffee or my kombucha? And maybe you even add in some things like some magnesium before bed or some chamomile tea, some ginger tea. But really, there's a lot that we can do to help with our sleep. So I really think that this self-care, taking care of our nervous system to have a good night's sleep, right? This isn't a luxury. It's how we can stay connected to who we are. And sometimes I just feel like, oh, I'm just like at home when I take care of myself. But the more chaotic life feels, the more we need to find moments of stillness. So whenever someone says, oh, I don't have time for yoga, I'm like, oh, that means you really need to get to yoga, right? And you don't need a full day at a spot, which is lovely. And I'm doing that next week. But sometimes it is literally just one deep breath, a moment of stillness. I like to put my hands on my heart center, and that can just bring you right home. Next, we're going to talk about the power of movement. So, movement is also medicine. It boosts our energy, our mood, our metabolism. So, what is it for you? Is it walking, stretching, yoga? Because that helps to release a lot of the stress that we hold in our bodies, that physical stress, and it can balance out our nervous system. Maybe it's strength training that helps us keep our bones strong and resilient, especially as estrogen declines. And you don't have to do it all. It's just moving in a way that really feels good for your life. So think about what brings you some joy, and every rep, every step, every stretch counts. And it's not even about intensity at this stage, but it's about consistency. And with my private clients, we really go into what type of movement is right for their exact bodies, their exact symptoms. Because some people, if they are going too hard at it, that's what they need to let go of for them to actually lose the weight, for them to regulate their nervous system. Somebody else, we do need to up that. So again, there's not one system that works. It's about really tuning in and to see what really feels joyful to you. It's not about punishment. So if something feels too hard and it's punishment, it's probably not the right thing for you. And think about too, strong over skinny, right? And there's a new research article that just came out just this last March of 2025, and it states, right, as our ovarian function declines, our muscle strength also drops, and the quality of life then goes with it. So the study found that the rate of possible muscle loss nearly triples after menopause. So that means more women in midlife are losing strength, and with it, right, we lose independence, we lose energy and vitality. So, but so many people are told to be a certain size, but so focus on how to be stronger, how to be more confident, right? And so with my clients, we really focus on being at a healthy weight. I work with clients that have usually about between 20 and about 160 pounds to lose. And so sometimes I'm with somebody for 3 months, sometimes I'm with somebody for 3 years. And we really have to figure out what works for each person for the long term. But we focus on getting to a healthy weight that's for them, but building that muscle, building that strength, building that resilience, because those are really the true markers in midlife and beyond. And strength is something you can build at any age. So we are all evolving. And the version of you that builds muscle and fuels the body, right, lifts heavy things, takes up space, that's you. And one of my clients yesterday, she started with only about, I think it was about 1,500 steps a day. And now she's consistently getting over 10,000 steps a day. And she said, I had no idea how easy it was going to be to do this. And I actually look forward to my steps now. She's like, I need to take it to the next level. Right. So once you get that confidence going, it's amazing. She just said, I had no idea I would actually like to exercise. And she started with, she felt it was really gross to sweat, right? So really combating some of those mindsets and how to really move your body in a way that feels good, that detoxes, but also improves your life and adds quality years to it. So this is another client of mine. Oh, and I just love working with her because she is her life is completely different. But she came and she has tried every diet out there. And when she first met with me, I said, well, have you ever worked with a health coach? She's like, no. And so we had to really start with that nothing, she would lose weight and she would gain it right back. But she said, to me, that I taught her that it's not just about weight, right? It's about sleep, it's about movement, it's about stress, it's about connection, breathing, nutrition, your mindset, and so much more. So she has lost way over 100 pounds now because we continue to work together. She sleeps better, but she enjoys life, right? And she is a caretaker full time. So that's hard when you always she was putting herself last, but now he is thriving more because she has more energy to take care of him. So she just says, like, right, for anybody that wants to lose weight, to feel less anxious, just to feel better in their body, that health coach can really change your perspective on life. And she just loves her life now. So we're going to talk about nutrition. I'm going to go a little fast here because there's so much to talk about, but there is a lot in that free guide that I'm giving you. But the food, the nutrition is one of the most powerful ways that you can support your body during menopause, right? Food is not just fuel, it's information for your body. So it can either support your hormones and ease your symptoms, or it can stir things up and make you feel worse. So when we can just shift to whole, nutrient dense, anti-inflammatory foods, we can gently balance our hormones, we can reduce those symptoms, and we can really support that energy, mood, and sleep. And this is something I work with all of my clients on. And when you work with me on a program, you do a whole foods cleanse. And it's an online course that comes with my program. And so we can really see, okay, what works best for you? Is dairy, is gluten? What are these? Are they inflammatory to your body, or are they okay? So, and I had a client that she is doing the whole foods cleanse right now. And she said, oh my gosh, I had leftovers in the fridge and the kids and my husband ate it. And now I have to make another meal. She's like, but I'm really happy. Like they actually like all of this healthy food. And she's like, I had no idea that it would be easy to cook this, that everybody would like it. And so she feels good that she's cooking not only nutrient dense food for herself, but finding things that the whole family can like. So, and food matters, right? Your body is working really hard right now. So we need to give it what it needs. And processed foods, they often make things worse. So the food we eat directly impacts how we eat. So when we eat processed food full of sugar and chemicals, we may experience worsening symptoms. And in 2012, I was in a major accident with a traumatic brain injury and was not able to go back to work and was just healing for 2 years. And at that time, I was told I was just going to live on disability and in level 10 pain and anxiety, depression. But I started to work with a health coach and we switched up my Pop-Tart and Diet Coke in the morning. And I was eating all inflammatory foods. So I wasn't helping my body to heal. And it was a game changer. As soon as I changed my diet and added yoga and started to meditate and really give my body half a chance, I healed right away. And it was so profound. I needed to go back to school to become a health coach. So we really need to find foods to support with where you're at, right? Whatever you're healing from. And right now it's the hormones, right? So we need to eat those foods that are going to balance the blood sugar. So high protein. I always think about every meal. Oh, do I have some protein in this? Do I have some healthy fat in this? And do I have some fiber in it? So even if you're thinking about a snack like an apple, if you put some almonds with it, then you have the protein, the fat, and the fiber. It's going to help you feel satiated as well. And really thinking about how to support the gut with the fiber and the fermented foods as well. So we're going to talk about some key nutrients. So magnesium is great. So thinking about leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate. And I always have like cacao nibs that I sprinkle on things, dark chocolate, really 70% or higher. And then a little bit of that every day is good for you. Omega 3s. So a lot of the salmon, the sardines, walnuts, chia seeds, having the B vitamins. So eating the eggs, getting some nutritional yeast to put on some of your pasta, legumes, leafy greens, vitamin D. A lot of times we need to be asking our doctor to check our vitamin D, fatty fish, egg yolks, mushrooms, some non-dairy milk, some fiber, getting lots of berries and legumes and broccoli and flax seeds. I have jars of just like flax seeds in my fridge too, and hemp seeds. And I just sprinkle it on oatmeal. I sprinkle it on my salad, just trying to sneak in little extra things here and there. And think beyond the cow and the chicken for protein, right? Those are great things of protein, but it could also be, right, the lentil, the tofu, some high protein Greek yogurt. Make sure there's not added sugar in those. So just think about, with my clients, we really look at meal planning and really how to find that supportive food plan that works within your diet. And it's not meant to be perfect, but it's meant to be easy for you. So, what would work for you? But we want to slow down while we eat as well and really savor those meals. So, if you have your phones out, you can do a little scan here to download this. Otherwise, I'm going to put the link in the chat in a little bit too. So, if you're looking for some extra support with some simple, nourishing ideas to get you started, I put together this free download for you. So it's packed with these easy, delicious meals that are some of my favorites, and they really support your hormones, your energy, and your overall health. So you can download all of that. So we're going to take a quick shift to just focus a little bit about mindset at this time of life. And this is something that I talk about with every single client, because when we talk about changing habits for life, we have to change how we think about things first. So let's take a moment to just think about this time of life, right? That some people feel like they're broken, they feel sad, right? We're maybe grieving our old selves, and that's valid. This can also be a powerful transition. That menopause isn't the end, it's a powerful new beginning. So our bodies are asking for deeper care. It's not asking for criticism about the bigger belly. It's not asking about any mean things. I have some clients who are the most like caring, beautiful people, and they are the biggest bully to themselves. And of course, they're going to stay stuck and not be able to make healthy habits work if they're always criticizing. Think about if you did that to your best friend, and if you said the things that maybe you say to yourself, do you think that they would want to make a change, right? So honor the gift of growing older. So every time I look and I go, oh, I have more wrinkles here, I'm like, well, I've had a lot of fun in my life, and that's because I've been smiling a lot, right? Every year brings us more wisdom, more strength, more truth. And so instead of trying to not accept where we're at, right? To resist something that we have no control in changing, to change it with gratitude that, hey, I'm 54. I'm now the age that my dad was when he passed away, right? That I'm so grateful that I get to be here. And probably each and every one of you knows somebody who didn't make it to the age that you are, right? That we're grateful to age with grace, with courage, with purpose. And so just think about what is one thing about the stage you're in right now a belief that maybe you're ready to rewrite, right? And the most empowered version of you is still unfolding. So think about aging as a gift. I receive it with gratitude and strength. And it's a great affirmation to say every day because aging really is a privilege and that is a gift. So let's talk about some of these healthy habits. So start small. So again, think about what it's going to be. Maybe it's one meal, maybe it's a lifestyle to focus on, maybe it's just tracking what your symptoms are. So let me know in the comments, drop in the chat what's one small thing that you can commit to doing this week. And maybe it's mindful breathing by 1 minute a day. Maybe it's, hey, I'm going to be adding some leafy greens to at least one meal a day. Maybe it's, oh, I'm going to get some of those loop resistant bands and I'm going to do that one day a week, or going to bed 15 minutes earlier, right? So think about just little things. Maybe it's a 15-minute walk. It doesn't need to overhaul everything. We're just getting started here. So come into the chat, and when we can verbalize, when we can put it out there, we are more likely to do it. But our daily habits play a huge role in our hormone health. So we want to have small, consistent changes. Again, it's not about perfection here as well. So yeah, so I'm seeing, yeah, Pilates, walking each day, better sleep. Yeah, Tiff is saying water intake. Shauna, increasing water intake. Yeah, and when we meet for our one-on-one deep dive session, I'm going to be asking you even more questions about how to implement these so that they are foolproof, right? So you know of every roadblock that's going to come so that you can get this. So meditation, yeah, Kathy, stretching every day. Absolutely. And so let's talk about what's possible for you because you don't have to do this alone. And before we wrap up, I want to extend that big second huge bonus for attending today. And that's an invitation to take things into a deep dive session, right? And so if you've been feeling low energy, trouble sleeping, right? We've talked about all these different symptoms. This call is for you. I help women over 40 with simple, sustainable changes that really actually work. And it's something that similar, like a lot of people go, oh, is it like therapy? Yeah, my degree is in psychology. I've had 3 certifications with behavior change and nutrition. And all of that helps us to talk about this present moment and going future. So therapy is working on the past. And this is about really envisioning, what do I want in my life for 20 years? Where do I want to be in 30 years? And what can we do today to do that? So it's finally getting to a healthy rate weight. So if you are in that crossroads, you're like, okay, I haven't been making the best decisions and I know I need a change, but I don't know where to start. Coaching is really great because you're not starting over every Monday then, right? You're really finding that way to get your energy back. You know exactly what is right for you for food. You're like, I'm confident. This is what's healthy. So many people, right? There's so much confusion. Yogurt, granola bars, are they healthy? Are they not, right? Get some clarity. Having real habits that stick, feeling calm, feeling supported. And, again, so many women, before they come to me, they've actually met with doctors. They have met with so many people before. They're like, we need to have this so it sticks for life, right? And so if you're ready for something that works, that is my role as a health coach. Again, it's like being a coach for somebody in the Olympics, right? We stay committed, we stay and figure things out. And so when tough things come through to you, or you get sick, or there's vacation and things go off track, right? The coach is there to help you through it. So with this, you are invited to that deep dive hormone reset health coaching session. So this is a free 50-minute session. So I only have 20 slots available. So if I'm going to be giving you the QR code in the next slide. So when this link doesn't work anymore, that's when those 20 slots have gone away. So it's a process that's structured to help you gain clarity and momentum, but it's fully personalized to you, your goals, your symptoms, your lifestyle, and what's been getting in your way. So I just want you to think about, what do you want in life? Has it been successful to do this on your own? Then go ahead and do that. But if this session, if this class has resonated with you, or if you have questions that you want to ask, then let's meet one on one and we can go through some of that. So this is your invitation. So you can scan this on your phone here, or you can go to loricampa.biz/deep dive. I put the link in the chat as well. But if you're ready to feel better, like, let's just get on Zoom and let's chat so you can feel in control of what you're doing. You can have better sleep, a clear mind, and you just know exactly what to do. So here's another one of my clients. She just said, "Oh my gosh, working with Lori is a game changer for her health. She has felt more supported and more confident in her ability to take care of herself." So she lost 23 pounds, and that was her goal, was 20 pounds. But her mindset is what has really gone off the chart, that she can now do anything that she wants, lifting weights 5 days a week. And so you really just have a whole new outlook in life. So this is my last testimonial here, but she just said, right, health coaching helps you become the best version of yourself, right? So if you're ready from a change, and it starts that inside out, this is the path. And she's so grateful that she said yes. So if you need to have this, this is the last time this screen is up. So take a screenshot if you would like. But again, they are limited to just 20 sessions because it's just me. There's not enough time. I don't have a team that works. You get me to talk with. So if you are one of the first people to schedule, we're going to get on the calendar, and then go from there. And if you are watching the replay and this link is not working anymore, just head to mindfulhealthwithlori.com, and then you can reserve a 30-minute free health coaching intro session with me. So, but definitely try this first, so we can have that 50 minutes for that. But thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate you all being here, and I hope to see you. And I look forward to talking to you more into your private sessions. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.